Hi, Run Your Story family. This is Allison Gilliard with Run Your Story, where every story needs to be heard. And this month, we have 2 podcast partners, that's right, 2, who are making sure that you hear the incredible run stories this month. And our 2 podcast partners are Fresh Junkie Racing, which is one of our official podcast partners. As we love Fresh Junkie Racing, they are absolutely amazing. They host the local Battleship 12K, which is my absolute favorite race. And then they also host Mississippi Gulf Coast, Louisiana Marathon. Oh man, there's Tuscaloosa Half, there's Warfest in Auburn, you name it, they've got it. It's so much fun. So definitely check them out. They give back to our communities, not through just the economics of when people come to visit our community for their amazing finish lines, but also they give back through charitable organizations. And I am so proud to be a part of the Fresh Junkie family, and I just love and adore those guys so much. And so definitely check them out at freshjunkie.racing.com. You can also check them out on the Run Your Story website as well. So thank you to Fresh Junkie Racing for believing in Run Your Story, for believing in this podcast, and for putting on such amazing running events. And our second podcast partner is the United Cerebral Palsy of Mobile, because I love this group so much. I've gotten to know them and their story and their heart for our community. You guys got to listen to Jennifer Cooley and her story with UCP and as a runner. Guys, so many cool things are happening there. And this is a part of our community. This is a part of our community that we can help be involved with. Guys, and one way to do that is the Christmas Nights and Lights 5K. It's perfect. Love it. It's one of my other local favorite 5K races that I love. We missed it for the past few years because they didn't have the right location. So now it's back, and it's going to be at Dauphin Way Baptist Church. And we are so excited that it's coming up in a couple of weeks. So you definitely want to go ahead and get registered. And this is your only chance to run, walk through the dazzling holiday light displays before they open to vehicles. The event will take place in the parking lot next to Dauphin Way Baptist Church. Guys, early registration is coming to a close, so you'll want to go ahead and get registered. All the proceeds benefit UCP of Mobile, which supports programs from over 700 children and adults with disabilities across South Alabama. You can find out more at UCP online as well. That's ucpmobile.org. Or you can also go to the Run Your Story website once again, and they are on there as well. They believe in the running community. They are so excited to host this event because they know how much we love it. So who doesn't love running through Christmas light? So excited. So definitely check them out. That is United Cerebral Palsy of Mobile. We absolutely love and adore them. And they believe in the running community, and we believe in them. All right, guys, so excited for you to hear Allie Eslava Taylor and her run story. Talk about one very incredible human being. She is a rock star in all forms. I mean, we also get to talk about women's safety, and not only just women being safe, but also any runners who are out by themselves running and how to be safe. That is actually one of Allie's areas of expertise, and you guys are going to get to hear more about that. So that's towards the end of the interview, so just make sure that you listen all the way through, because I do ask her that. What is her professional opinion about this? And so I'm so appreciative that she took the time to do that. Guys, she is getting ready to tackle a 400 miler, and she's just incredible. Like, what an incredible human being. She shares some great advice, and you guys are going to love that. She's very colorful. So we all love Allie. And I want to share this really fun story. And that is, after this podcast interview, it had been a couple of weeks, and I was talking to different people, and they had no idea that I interviewed Allie. And they were like, you know who you need to interview? You need to interview Allie. And I was like, actually, I have. So that just lets you know that people were like, I want to hear Allie's story. So Allie, thank you so much, from the other Allie, for sharing your run story and all the things that you brought, all the fun stories. I will never look at a goo pack the same. Let me just say that. So your words of wisdom, the way that you talk to yourself, I'm just so incredibly grateful. You are so funny, and I am wishing the very best at this new chapter. And I cannot wait to hear all about it when you accomplish this 400 miler, my friend. All right, guys, lace up those running shoes, get ready, get set, and go run with my friend Allie and her run story. All right, finally. Okay, so before we get started, first of all, I want to say already, the fun joke that happened here in the alley was that there was another Allie, And we all realized that we're Allies. And we're in the alley, as your dad joke.
Yes, but a bum.
It was great.
Thank
Fantastic.
you. I've been thinking about that joke for a while.
It was very appropriate.
Perfect.
That there were alleys in the alley.
3 alley girls in an alley.
Yeah. Wow. So I'm excited because I'm going to tell how we got to know each other.
I wrote that down also. I wrote the Allison Allie story because I love it so much.
It's one of my favorites. As soon as I got back from that trip, I was like, you'll never guess what happened.
I know. What are the chances in the universe that we met that way? It's perfect.
It's insane.
It's perfect.
So I got to know you because I got talked into doing King of the Mountain 5K with my friend Sky. She was like, you should come do this. And I was like, great, because we don't have trails like that.
No.
But that sounds great. Sure. And we finally make it up to King of the Mountain. I do say finally, because that was insanely hard.
Yes.
So we make it up to King's Chair, having a great time. And I guessed you had overheard somebody, my friend Sky, talking about the podcast. And all of a sudden I hear this voice. I know that podcast. I have friends on that podcast. And so I look around and I see this really cool chick coming up with trekking poles. And we start talking and you're training for like an insane race, an event.
Yes.
And then we introduce ourselves. And you're like, yeah, I live in Daphne. And I'm like, I work in Fairhope. What is happening? And then we both are like, how did we get up here on this mountain?
I know.
What are we doing?
It's one of the best views in Oak Mountain State Park, which is a brutal trail with the stumps and the rocks. There's never a run that I've done there, which I've done a lot there. Unfortunately, I've always almost fallen and busted or hit the same toe 100 times. I've got 2 really long toes that hit first. So one looks like it has frostbite right now from the last trail run I did there. But yeah, that story is one of my favorite stories and the most epic story for 2 people to meet on the peak of a mountain when you just happen to be competing and I just happen to be training and then meeting at the same time.
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
It was.
It's crazy. And now we've been following each other on social media.
Yes.
And I feel like you were one of my heroes. I do mean that because I told you earlier, I'm like, girl, you do a little bit of everything. And one of the things that I love and admire about you, which we are going to talk about later, is you are so adamant about women in self-defense.
Yes.
I adore that so much. So I'm really excited to pick your brain from that perspective as well. But Allie, having met on a mountain, what is your run story? How did we get here? Oh,
that is the best question anyone has ever asked me, was how I got here. And I think it was from a series of psychotic events that led me to this point, because for a person like me, I'm always looking for the next most challenging thing I can find on the market. So that was also what I was training for when I met you, was trying to figure out running poles because I've never had them before. And I see all these ultra marathon runners and they're using them and they're learning about them. So I watched some YouTube videos. I bought some and up on the mountain I went. And they definitely helped on my last run, which was up in Montana, participating in the rut, which sells out in an hour. So I had to set an alarm in January for mountain time to make sure I sign up for this 50K, which is the 31 miles up the mountain. So I did and had no expectation of myself. So I wasn't even nervous because I just had no idea what was going to happen.
sure.
We are flatlanders. We do not have that kind of elevation. We do not have that kind of way to practice with thin air and breathing. And so I didn't know anybody up at the mountain that was running it. I just showed up, and I did have some friends doing the shorter version of the run, but I was running the long distance alone and crashed and burned, literally. Face planted. Yeah, I have a battle wound. It's almost healed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't change it for the world. I was bleeding. It was fantastic. And then they time capped me at 18 and a half miles. Wow. So I wasn't even sad.
Yeah.
Not at all. Most people get so bent out of shape about catching a DNF on their track record. But that race was so hard. The fact that I didn't quit on my own was all I was worried about. Don't be a baby. Don't quit, even though you want to. in your mind, I can stop right now.
Yeah.
I can stop right now. I can take the ski lift down. I can go get me a beer and a burger and be happy. And somebody else made that choice for me, and I was over the moon. So I hopped my happy butt down the trail. I caught the ski lift and did exactly that. So that was my latest crash and burn. But before I got there, I can't really say that I was a runner at a young age, but I'd run here and there, mostly on doing road races and things like that. My dad was a track racer, but I didn't really find the joy of trail running till about 7 or 8 years ago.
Wow. Okay.
So it has not been an extremely long running journey, but it has been colorful.
Sure.
Very colorful.
Let me tell you, trail runners in general are just, that's a whole different
It is.
mental. But I will say this, there is something very freeing about being on the trails.
I
You know,
agree.
just something about being in nature and creation. And you're not worried about your pace because, as you said,
No.
like you just,
Yeah.
And I love how you document your races. I feel like I'm watching a documentary, honestly. Like, I felt like I was so excited about your latest trip because I was like, we're going to get to see an aspect because one, I have no desire to do that. So I'm living through you. But also everything that you were posting, and then you even posted about like your leg and everything. And I was like, this chick is still going. Like, I think there is something just in runners in general that don't know how to quit.
Right.
But then also, I love how you said someone had to make that decision for me.
Right.
And it was like, and we're okay with that.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, you got to do something epic.
Yes. It was quite scenic.
Quite
Very,
the-
very
Oh my
beautiful.
God.
The elevation was 10,000 feet up and it was 10,000 down. So I went and I did the best I could do, which was nothing but a consistent almost 7 hours of incline, and can't even gain traction in some of these ridges.
Oh, it was just
And-
rock. It was just rolling rocks.
And then
that
it
you
was
saw.
just rocks and loose dirt. And then when I thought things were going to get better, they only got worse. And that just kept happening over and over again. And there was one section where I was basically laying on my back and I was scooting down just inch by inch. And when I say inch,
Yeah.
maybe an inch. And I had to go so slow because it was just drop off. One slip and you're gone. And there's other people walking by me with no problem, no fear. But I have a lot of fear.
Really?
I do not like heights.
Okay.
As much as I love to backpack and as much as I love to be on the mountain peaks,
Yeah.
I don't really like rock climbing.
Okay.
And
Which
that
is-
was what
which is what you did.
Yeah, that was what it felt like. So it was not a trail run. That's just comical to say.
Sure.
This was something that mountain goats do. And as much as I want to be one,
Yeah.
and as I have one even
You do?
tattooed on
Okay.
my arm,
Yeah.
I can't do that. Insurance isn't great, so you got to be careful as you get older. Things don't bounce back like they used to.
Well, so I loved it because I got an appreciation when I did Oak Mountain. Because as you said,
Oh God, yes.
I kept telling my
It's
friend
brutal.
Scott, I was like, we have nothing like that down here. As you said, we're
No.
flatlanders.
Yes.
Like, we run the beach, we run the humidity.
Right.
But
We run the swamps.
we run this with a few little rolling hills.
Yes.
But nothing at a constant incline.
Nothing like that.
The trails we have are, I would say, very prim and proper compared to Oak Mountain. Like,
sure.
That's very technical. And if you've not been on a technical trail and then you're going up a mountain, girl, we were like not even 5 minutes in and I was like, she said, do you have asthma? I was like, no, but I should probably.
I do now.
I don't.
Yeah, I do now.
And I kept saying, I was like, I'm a runner, dog. Like, I run and I work out. Like, I do cardio.
Yes.
Like, I lift weight.
Yes.
And I'm like struggling. And
Oh, yeah.
trying to justify. And it gave me a new appreciation for all of my friends that are ultra marathoners and trail runners. Because I think there is something completely different in that world.
It definitely feels like a whole different category.
Yes.
It really does. Because it's not just the miles for some races, it's the terrain that you're
Yes.
going over. I was talking to a woman yesterday. She was just fascinated about running any kind of distance. And she said, well, how do you prepare? I was like, well, it's really hard to say that because each race is so different. It is so different. It depends on where you are this year physically. And what did you eat the night before? Did you drink enough water? Did you hydrate? Everything comes into play. Did you train enough? Cross train. Did you cross train enough? And I know for me, just being in CrossFit, each year I'm physically in a different place. Sometimes I'm weaker, sometimes I'm more strong. It depends on nutrition. That's a huge part of it. If my nutrition is garbage, the lifting is not going to be as heavy.
Yeah.
Or it's really hard to prepare for each race because they're all so different. They all have a different demand.
That's a great perspective.
So it's always hard for me because I never know really what to expect.
Yeah.
Like doing the rut. There was this guy that walked past me, and as trail runners, even if someone is bent over tying their shoe, they check on you.
Yeah.
They are concerned, and they make sure that you are all good because this is not easy, no matter what trail you're on. Not even if it's groomed. Yeah. Even if it's a groomed trail, you check on each other. So he walked past me, and obviously I'm... And there was a couple of times where I couldn't breathe at all. And then you want to cry because you can't breathe. And then it makes it worse. This has happened several times. And I'm about in tears. And he said, "Are you eating?" And I said, "Well, it's been a minute." He said, "You need to eat. You have to eat. Even if you don't want to eat, you have to eat." And that's also a struggle of mine, which I have a story about that, which has to do with my worst race, which is one of the questions, is the eating. When you don't want to eat, it's so hard to eat.
Yeah.
And with that race, it was actually making me nauseous just looking, and I could see the other runners on the top of the peak and how far down I was, and I knew I had to go up there. It was making me sick.
Oh, yeah.
So it was overwhelming. Yeah. It was very overwhelming.
I remember watching your video, and you did like this pan out. You're like, so here's the mountain. It was like this slow, and you're like, that's the mountain I have to climb.
I have to go up there, then I got to go up there.
It was wild.
It was wild. And that's why I documented the whole thing, because
I love that.
I just didn't know. And apparently this is a very unique race. There aren't many like this in the United States.
Oh, God.
I know. But even speaking of Oak Mountain, when one of my favorite races, when we get to that, it's also at Oak Mountain. So I have this love-hate relationship with Oak Mountain. I love it, and that's where all the races are, and it's great for training, but it murders me.
Yeah.
It murders me.
That's good to know, because I left a piece of my soul off. You're slinging around trees, and I was like, I'm so glad I go to boot camp and work out, because I wouldn't have been able to sling myself up around this tree.
I know.
There was no tail.
I know.
What?
I know. And then you're talking about how you can't breathe, and it'll make you feel like you're a smoker.
Yeah.
Like you smoke a pack a day or something, the way that you're breathing, and you're like, I should be fitter than this. And you feel like you need to explain yourself to other runners. Just so you know, I normally run. And I do run and I work out. I don't know why I'm like this.
That's how exactly how I felt.
I get a little paranoid that I'm breathing too loudly, and I apologize to other people.
And that, Allie, I'm telling you, Allie and Allie, two Allies now on the podcast. My soul sister right here. This is,
Yes.
So how did you find trail running? Like, how did you get into that?
So I came across a race, which is my favorite race.
Okay.
And it's a race that I pretty much do every year.
Okay.
And since I've gotten into trail running. And it was they have an option for a 9 mile and an 18 mile. So it's a 9 mile loop.
Okay.
And then you do it again if you're doing the 18. So, of course, this is my first time. I don't know anybody. I'm just showing up.
You went for the 18 mile.
I actually went for the 9.
Did you?
On my first one. I went for the 9. And I wore these crappy road shoes that had 0 tread. And I got served on that day. And as I always get served so the race is called Hotter in Hell.
Okay.
It's every July. So makes total sense. So rude. But yeah, we were like, let's do it.
That'll be a great challenge.
I love cramping so much. Let's go do it in public. And so I did the 9, and things were going okay. And actually, I think I placed 5th in my age group on that time.
That's amazing.
I probably would have done better, but I fell. I fell because my shoes had no tread. And I rolled my foot, but I didn't realize I had rolled my foot. Because when your adrenaline is still super flowing, I'm like, no, I'm good. And I just kind of limp it off a little bit, and I ended up walking with another runner. She was just trying to keep me going. She was doing the 18. And at that time, an 18-mile run just blew my mind. Just blew my mind. It's like, wow, she is really cool. She's doing the 18-miler. Like, that's a cool girl right there. And so I get across the finish line a couple hours later, everything mellows out, and then I couldn't walk on my foot.
Oh.
And I was at a store, and it hurts, but then all of a sudden it felt like all the blood was in that one foot. And then I almost completely passed out. It went to tunnel vision. And so I felt my way out of the store. Unfortunately, I was in public. And then somebody comes up to me asking me for directions. And I wasn't even from there. And I'm in a state where I can barely speak. He probably thought I was on drugs because I was sitting there. I probably looked like just absolute crap and asking for directions. I was like, I'm sorry. I'm not from here. And I'm thinking, don't talk to me right now. I just can't even see straight.
You just see, I'm just trying to
Oh
get
my
out of
God.
here.
Yeah. Can't you see him having a moment?
That's hilarious.
So that was the first 9-mile loop trail run I had done. And then, speaking of convincing other people to do things that they potentially could accomplish, I had a friend. Her name's AJ, and she used to be big into the running community. And she convinced me that I could do a 50K.
I used to say 9 miles. Why not a 50K in the trail?
I know. So that was where the persuasion came in to do my first ultra marathon.
Wow.
And of course I said yes, because I love a challenge, even if it's a fail or not, which a fail to me, especially in running, is what I've learned over the past few years is it's never a fail. It's just always a lesson. You just may have to learn it the hard way. Like when I showed up with road shoes with no tread on them. Or like when I showed up for my first triathlon to do a mountain bike and I had a road bike.
Oh.
And I had, even when I was there, they were teasing me. Somebody said, "Are you going to use that bike?" I said, "Well, I ain't got another one." So yeah, I am. And then that was when I also learned that I really don't like an open water swim.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
This was also at Oak Mountain.
I was about to say, it sounds like Oak Mountain.
This was also Oak Mountain. And if you've ever been in that lake, it's like swimming in chocolate milk. You cannot see anything.
And it's very lukewarm.
Yes. And being kicked in the face by about 30 other people, I felt like I was drowning. And then I get out to go do this mountain bike. And I've never been on a mountain on a bike, ever. And I have a road bike. So me and this 13-year-old, we were the last in the pack, and we stuck together because he didn't bring any water and I brought a road bike. So almost coming in complete last, I'm confident of that. Then I had to run, and that's where I figured I would shine. But then probably lack of hydration. I know I didn't eat anything. My legs completely locked up. So I'm locked up and I'm crying and I'm running with my legs completely straight, like they just won't bend. And I finally get to the finish line, and I've never done a triathlon since. That was it was like, hey, I did one. That was great. I'm not coming back. Apparently this is not for me.
Okay, but you did a really hard one as your first one.
Oh my God. It's just why? So many questions why. I just don't understand myself sometimes.
I love that now.
But before I did the 9-miler, I accidentally signed up for a trail run at Blakely State Park.
Okay.
I signed up for their first 5K.
Okay.
So I showed up, and I assumed we were going to be running the road, but we were not.
Oh, yeah.
We were running the trails. So I ended up doing pretty well, even though it was on trail. Came in second. I thought I was going to be first, but this girl came out of nowhere, which since then we've been friends ever since then.
I love that.
But she smoked me. She was a Orange Theory gal who can run like a 5-minute mile. So she flies past me. We meet at the finish line. We've been friends ever since. And then we ended up running the Mobile Marathon together for the relay.
Nice.
So I took the hills, and then she caught us up at the end because she's got them legs. She had that speed. Love you, Shannon. So yeah, we've been friends ever since. That was my first accidental trail run was Blakely. And then the one I did on purpose was Hotter than Hell.
Blakely's great because
I do Blakely a lot.
That's where people that are listening, it's a great trail. And there's a lot of history there.
Yes.
So there's a lot to look at.
Yes.
But also that's where a high school cross country needed that. So you see kids that some are wearing trainers, some are wearing spikes.
Yep.
And so I could see how that would be a good entry level. Hey, I kind of like this drill thing, not knowing as your first one. That
Right.
I could also see knowing that, hey, if I did it here, if I go to Oak Mountain, the same concept, not realizing that's way more technical. Because if you're brand new to trails, you don't know that there's a difference.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I love that park because, everybody there is so nice, but they put so much money back into the park. They don't just let it rot away.
Yeah.
They do a lot of bike trails. They've got a lot of bike clubs. They work on the trails. They make new ones. So I really do love that park. But I think there maybe just is an issue with me reading a description because I've done that other times for the Battleship 12K. I thought it was a 5K.
Stop it.
So I show up my first year. I've done this like 4 or 5 times now. And I love this race. So I show up thinking it's a 5K. She's like, somebody says, no, dude, it's 7 miles. Huh? Oh, well, okay. We're going to do that then. While we're here, I guess we're doing a 12K.
That is fantastic.
So this is a trend.
I love that's you're like surprise to me. I love that.
Yeah,
that's great.
the patterns. There are patterns with me.
It. So speaking of patterns, there's got to be some lessons that you've learned from running. And I love that you've shared some of that already, how there's no failures in running. It's lessons. I love that so much.
Yes, lots of lessons. So other than there are no fails, you're only learning because every race is so different. Every year, you and your body, you're in a different place. It could be a good place. It could be a bad place. Even before I was back into fitness, from being younger, transitioning to adulthood, I was hard party girl. I mean, drinking excessively every day, smoking. This is before I actually got into CrossFit and before I had my son. So just hard party girl. And I'm still a party girl. I just have to control her. I feel like I'm just that college girl that's every day I'm just like first day at college. So I have to control the party girl now. Otherwise, I can't run and do the things that I love to do. Because smoking and drinking huge amounts of vodka, they just don't go together in large consumptions. So I still fight her all the time. Nope, we're not doing that today. Nope, we're done with smoking. We're not doing that either. So those are lessons learned that you have to pick one. You have to pick what kind of lifestyle you want. And so all the time, every day, I don't care where you are in life, you can always begin to change it right now. And it's like the first time I finally went back to the dentist after a huge gap was I heard a commercial on the radio and it said, it doesn't matter how long it's been since your last visit. Like basically anything can be not undone, but you can begin to rebuild it right now. I was like, dang, okay. So I started going back to the dentist again because when you have that large gap, you're thinking, oh, I can't go. I have cavities and it's going to be a long process. And I view that with the things that you've done when you were younger. Like when I was a child, I was so sick, I could barely go outside. I had asthma. My mom would take me to really good doctors and I was allergic to pine and I was allergic to mold and we lived in the swamp in Louisiana. So everything was just blooming all the time. And so they told her that it was like I was breathing through a straw, that I was always coughing. I was always congested. It was mom staying up late nights in a warm bathroom, getting that steam to loosen everything up. So to me, the best advice I can give them and lessons I've learned from running is just let the past be the past and don't let it be an excuse because anything can be reversed for the most part. Can't say that for everything, but I know just the things that I used to do or I used to enjoy, all of that can be changed. So I don't want to hear that, oh, I used to have asthma as a kid. That's why I can't run. That's crap because I did too. And I still struggle with breathing. Learned I had a deviated septum recently. I was like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. I haven't been able to breathe in 15 years. So they're just, you can rather make an excuse or you can just make yourself do it. But other lessons learned, especially with the ultra running community, is I always thought I used to have to be this mentally hard lone wolf and be by myself and endure all these things by myself. But then I also learned along the way is the community can really, really, really benefit you. And they can get you past that finish line. And they can be there for you even when you're failing. And you can be them for when you're failing, which that has happened so many times. But even just being there, even if you're not even talking, during my first 100-miler, there just got to a point where we were both suffering and we didn't speak for 2 hours. We were around 85 miles and I think he was over me and I just didn't have anything else to say. We were just so tired, but just being there can help without you even knowing that you're benefiting the other person. So it's the company that you're with. They can help you get you across that finish line when you're suffering.
I love that so much. You hit on something that I recently just had a conversation with my husband about, and that is literally as a community, we are stronger together because we are our own worst enemies. We will hear our own voices. And if I heard friends say things that I tell myself, I would be like, stop it. That's not true. Don't talk to yourself that way.
Well, yeah.
So I love that you brought in the community aspect because I do believe that we are so much stronger together. And it's just like what you said. I love how you said that where you were like, you know what? If I'm having a bad day or a bad race day, then you have somebody there that you know is either one cheering you on, going to be at the finish line, or that's like, hey, they're depending on me to finish this, or whatever it is. And you have somebody there, and they don't even have to say anything.
Yeah.
You just go.
Yeah. You just go and you just hump it out together.
Yeah.
And just, you're getting each other through, whether if you think you're doing anything for them or not.
Yeah. I got emotional before you were talking about that. I was like, we literally just had this conversation about how when you're individual and sometimes when you're out running, I have to sometimes drown music out. I have to put music on because to drown out the negativity that I say to myself.
Yeah.
And so I can't focus on that right now. I'm out here to clear my head. I'm out here so let's put on the jams and let's just go.
Yeah.
Whereas if I'm with somebody, I don't ever hear that voice.
Right.
It's because I'm in community.
Absolutely. And that happens a lot, especially when I'm alone. It's the things that you can convince yourself are incredible, just incredible. When I was doing the race I just did, which I was alone, and you come across a lot of people, of course, they were passing me at some point while I'm struggling back there, just talking to them, even if it's just a few words.
Sure.
It definitely just takes you out of that negative mindset and you're speaking with them and you're getting out of your own head because the things I was saying to myself, they were pretty brutal. I was just so exhausted from each miserable turn that I made. It's going to get better. Oh my God, it just got worse. And it just never stopped. So,
oh, wow.
But it definitely gets in your head for sure. So I definitely get that. But yeah, the community, especially with the ultra runners, because I can't speak for the marathon runners because the only time I've ever ran a marathon was the very first time I did an ultra marathon.
Because why not?
I know.
Let's just skip everything.
Skip to the good part. Let's just skip to the good part.
We go from a 9-miler to
the 31-miler. That was the Mississippi 50.
Okay, yeah.
And that was a really fun race. I think it's a single track. It's nice and easy. The people are great. And then that was where I actually went back to do my first 100-miler.
Wow.
So
that's the one too that if it rains the week before, the day before, whatever, it holds water, right?
It did.
Yeah.
So the year before, it had rained a lot and they were up to their chest.
That's right. Okay.
In a certain section.
Wow.
And one of the people I know that was running it that year, I think she tapped out. She's like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. This is not happening. But those times to me are exciting.
Yeah.
Even though
your
but your feet are wet. Other than your feet being wet, that's...
Or your whole body there, Allie.
Oh, God, I know, the whole body. But every time I do a race, I feel like it rains.
That's true.
Every time I do an ultra, there have been more times that I've been soaking wet versus completely dry. I mean, we're in the South, so it always rains.
That's how I feel about Mississippi Gulf Coast for that half. Like that one that's in December.
Yes.
And I love how I have friends that have never ran this and they're so excited because they're like, oh, it's December. It's going to be cold. And I was like, no, you're going to hit all the elements of weather.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to rain.
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
going to rain that day.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then one last thing just on lessons learned or advice to yourself is just give yourself some credit. It's so hard to give yourself credit.
Yes.
If you're like me or if anybody else is, That is something I never do.
Yeah.
Never. But I should. But I don't. I don't ever want to give myself too much credit because I feel like I'll just take it and run with it.
Again, Allie, I feel like I'm just like, wow, this is my soul sister.
On top of the mountain. It's the best. It's absolutely my favorite. And shoes. Shoes is a lesson that I have learned. And I learn it over and over again. The shoes that I wore on the trail run that I just did, which was a mountain climb, I had road shoes on, and that was not what I needed. And I have trail shoes. I've got great trail shoes.
Wait, what?
I know.
Okay.
I was like, well, I'm just going to give them a shot. I'm going to wear these new shoes and I'm just going to go climb this mountain. Nope. It was a fail. Absolute fail.
Allie.
It was awful. It was just awful. I just don't even know what to say.
Allie.
But this is how I learned. It's the hard way.
to respond to that.
I know. Just keeps happening to me.
Did you forget that you were going up a mountain?
I just was like, I got it. That's the voice I hear. I can do it. You got it. But I don't got it. I don't got it. And then I fail. And then I don't get it.
So are you going to go back and try to do this one again?
So I actually got an email that said that the dates are out for next year. And in the moment, I'm like, nope, I don't want to. This hurts a lot. But of course I want to, because now I know where I need to pick things up. Where did I fall so short? And
The shoes to wear.
And the shoes to wear. And maybe I need to eat something substantial before I hit this mountain. Because I had a little bit of oatmeal and then took off. And you're getting a little bit here and there, but apparently I need a lot more than that.
Yeah, some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, boo.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I need something.
Okay.
But I definitely want to go back,
Okay.
just because it's so pretty, and come across the finish line at some point. So even if it's not next year,
Sure.
because I have a couple of things that I may do instead on a mountain, maybe just not that mountain. I'll let my scar heal before I sign up for the next one. When this,
I was about to say the scar's not even.
I know, when my
The scar's like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah, when my flesh heals and the other flesh I left there washes off, I'll think about it. I'm never saying no, because the mountain is beautiful. The area is beautiful. Big Sky, Montana is everything that it lives up to its name. It's gorgeous, just gorgeous. But it snowed the day we left, which was the next morning. So if it were to have rained,
Yeah.
and then it would have snowed,
And you were in road shoes.
and I was in road shoes, I don't really know what that would have looked like. Not good. I'm sure it would not be good.
You mentioned your favorite race is at Oak Mountain.
Yes.
Okay. Why is that your favorite?
So I think it's my favorite because it's a local race. Southeastern Trail Runs puts this on, and the terrain is unforgiving. It is brutal. The way that they have us running is up and down gorges, just over and over again. So it's rather hot as hell, or it's raining, or
July.
it is 100%. One year it just rained the whole time. It never stopped. It never stopped.
Oh, and you're coming down those rocks.
Oh my
Look great.
Yes, the rocks, going up the rocks, and they even changed it a little bit this year, and kind of, they're just mean. They're mean when they pick that course.
Yeah.
There's a couple of hills that you have to go up. One's called Heart Attack Hill, and they are not lying. That will spike that heart rate. And that is where you form the best friendships, is when you go up those flipping hills they got, or when you're going down and you hope you don't face plant, because if you do, you're not all coming back in one piece.
Right. Or slide down the mountain.
Yeah, or slide down the mountain. And now I've dedicated it to the 18-miler now that I've done the 9. And they always have really fun aid stations.
Okay.
There was one where it was like a prison themed, and they were really mean to us when we would come through, and then they'd be lifting weights outside. And this year it was Waffle House, and he was dressed up like a chef, and it was so funny. And I have now sucked in my buddy from the CrossFit gym. His name's Trey. And now he runs that race, and now we compete against each other.
Wow. Okay.
So the first year I had him do it, and he is fit. He was in the military. So I'm like, you got this.
Yeah.
So So since it's 2 9-mile loops, so first loop, he takes off. Don't even see him. He's gone. But then at the end of the loop, I catch up. Yeah. And he's like, dude, I'm going to quit. No, you can't quit. No, we're going to do it again. Yeah. We're doing another loop. So I take off. He's behind me for our second 9-mile loop. And I'm really just trying to get this over with. Yeah. And so I wait for him because I was going to take his pictures and his video coming through the finish line. I think it's his first trail run. And I was standing there so long, I thought he had left. So 50 minutes later, he comes through the finish line and he is an unhappy camper. Unhappy. And I don't know if it's because it was just so horrible or because I was ahead of him. So now that's our new thing. But on that race, we were lacking so much salt that our legs were locking up, both of us. And because when it's humid like that, even if it's raining, you are not realizing how much salt that you are losing. Yeah. And if you are not replenishing it, it's going to hurt. It is going to hurt. I even had a guy give me a pickle shot, which did not help. I think I was just beyond help at that point. But he's a big sweater, and I guess I am too. So this time, we were ODing on Element.
Yeah.
And I think he had these 2 little bitty bottles in his vest, and he had 2 packets of Element in each of them. So he had 4,000 milligrams of sodium. So he was not going to lock up, and we both paid attention to that, and we did better this year. And then he got me by 10 minutes.
Wow. But way to go back. That's amazing.
It's just do it better the next time. Yeah. Do it better the next time. So just try to learn and just do it better. But my other favorite race, it is running related, but it's an obstacle course race. And when you interviewed Cecilia, that's a race that I've gotten her to do before.
Oh, I love that.
And it's brutal. It's 6.5 miles. It's at Nakalula Falls in Gadsden. And it also is hard. It's tough. And then they throw in the obstacles. And they're tough too. Almost.
But then y'all go back and do them.
I know. I know. I went back this year and did it just by myself. And then I always put on my war paint. I do massive war paint. And sometimes I'll put temporary hair color in my hair, like really look the part.
I love that. That's amazing.
And then now the person that starts the race and talks everybody through it, drawing a blank on what those people are, an announcer. So the announcer now does war paint because we're buddies.
Oh, I love that.
Yes. So he dresses in full gear, full barbarian, full face paint. It's great.
Like we are making this epic.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
We definitely do.
So let's switch to routine. So I know that you've mentioned it before. When it comes to different races, you have different ways to prepare. So how do you prepare for your different events?
What I try to do is figure out how long I'm going to be out there.
Okay.
And how long is this race going to take me? So that's how I'll prepare to bring whatever items I'm going to carry. Am I going to bring a water bladder along with my soft bottles? And I try to keep sugar. I try to keep extra salt. At the rut race, there was a mandatory gear check. And they would not let me check in until they saw my items.
Wow.
So you had to have an emergency blanket. You had to have a waterproof jacket that was approved by them. The jacket had to be approved.
Wow.
Because it snows up there.
Sure.
And you had to have a certain amount of ounces of water. So they had to check my gear before I could even get my race number.
So cool. That's so interesting.
I know. It was the first for me. I was irritated because my car was parked so far away. It's like, are you serious? You can't gear check me in the morning, but okay. So it depends on how long you're going to be gone.
Okay.
That's normally how I'll figure out, especially with the hotter and hill race, there's only one stop along the way.
Okay.
And sometimes that's not even enough. I did the Rockin' Chakalaka, or it's Rockin' Chakalaka. It's a very confusing name, but it's really fun. The Pinhoti Race Trail, that's the group. And I did the 50K at the last minute. I wasn't expecting for the aid station to be so far away. So by the time I got there, I was eating the weirdest things. I was getting the potatoes, dipping it in salt. I was grabbing the candy. And I didn't even care if anything was fresh. I didn't care if anything was soggy.
Sure.
You're just picking it up and so you can just have something.
Sure.
So I have come to completely empty before, several times. So it's really, sometimes that's hard to gauge. So that's why people can be a little technical when they're reading up on the race, which is my biggest fault. They're like, okay, so the aid station is this far away. I'm like, we'll just wing it. The winging is what's getting me in trouble. That's where I'm falling short, is because I wing so many different things. That's how I fall on my face.
I love that though.
But I can't stop it.
But you're like, I'm just here for the fun.
I am.
I'm just here for the adventure.
That's pretty much it. Like, I'm just here to just do my best. And if that ain't it, then that's okay. So that's where I'm falling into these issues, is I'm winging it too much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, oh no, I'll just bring some stuff and it'll be fine. So that's where that goes into play.
Okay. So you cross the finish line. What does recovery look like for you? What do you do post-race?
So post-race, depending on if I don't have to drive anywhere, I'm just going to go get a beer and I'm going to get some food.
Mm-hmm.
But if I have to drive and it's not an option that I can hang out and enjoy myself, then I'm going for caffeine and I'm going for a hamburger.
Here we go.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's normally what I'm going for. And then when I get home, depending on how long I've gone and how I'm feeling, is Epsom salt baths are normally what I like to do also.
Okay.
But yeah, normally going for the beer stand if they've got one. So just depends on what I've got going on after that.
Okay. So what is your favorite running item? You will not hit the trails or the pavement without this item.
Chapstick.
Yes. Yeah.
Because you can use chapstick for so many different reasons. And we'll get to the goose story. It's kind of related.
About that.
Yeah. I did write that I have a story to tell you on the running memories because I forgot about that. And I actually have it on video. It was documented piece by piece.
Wow.
Of the goo story.
The goo story.
But chapstick is my go-to because you can use it on your lips. I normally get a huge runny nose every time I run. Anytime I do cardio, I'm blowing my nose. So it'll start to chafe. So I'll use my chapstick on my nose. And my God, if you really needed it for your thigh clap, you can put that on your thighs. Just don't use goo. And I even let so same race, I'm like, put it on my nose because I've been running for 100 miles and it's all chafed. And so my buddy says, my lips are really chafed. I was like, oh, I got chapstick. And so I give it to him and he puts it on. And I was like, oh, that was on my nose. And I didn't even, I just did. Never even said anything because he's not going to care. He is not going to care when you're in a desperate situation. It just don't matter.
Yeah.
When you're sharing chafing sticks, it just doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
No.
Yeah.
No. Like my chafing stick, which
Do you have a favorite chapstick?
I do. It's called chicken poop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I found it at a gas station one day, and then now they sell it at Tractor Supply. So it's great.
Okay.
And the little logo on there says, if you have chicken poop on your lips, you won't lick your lips or something like that.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
but
I don't think I would. Yeah.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite. There's no flavor to it, but it has a little bit of a scent, and it's very mellow, but can be used for many different things.
Yes, obviously.
And so I can tell you the goose story on what not to use as lube.
Let's do that.
So if you're ever in a situation where something is really hurting, like a chafe on your legs, you'll do whatever you have to do to make it better.
Right.
To try to find lubrication in certain situations, you got to get crafty. And it may be gross, but in this situation, at the time that it was, I was doing a 10-mile run, and at my 5-mile turnaround, I was like, I got to do something.
Yeah.
I've got to do something. This hurts. And I was wearing some white shorts that were too big, and I was just going for it. And clothing fails is another great gift of mine.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I've got some goo in here. I just put a little goo on it. Well, the texture of goo is initially like hot glue. It's like a glue gun, and it just made it worse. Instead of them still being able to rub and move, they were slapping and sticking. So I didn't think about that. And so I've got these white shorts on. I have a chocolate goo, and the chocolate glue is brown. So I rub it on my thighs, and I'm like, okay, here we go. So I take off, and they are sticking, and they're not even coming apart. So I was like, okay, I've got to get this off. I've got to get this off right now. So then it looked like I had gone to the bathroom on the wrong side of my body in white shorts. So then I'm looking for any kind of water, because of course I don't bring water. And so I find a ditch, and it has a little bit of water in it. And so I go in the ditch and I'm trying to wipe it off and trying to get it off. And I think that I do, but I don't. And it's still on there. And it was the only water source within the next 5 miles. So then I'm blowing my nose into my hand and trying to rub it on to get it off. Then I'm out of snot. So then I'm trying to use spit. So I'm spitting and I'm snotting and I'm just running. And I'm even trying to run with my legs where they don't touch. So I'm sure I looked absolutely insane the way that I was trying to keep them from touching and what I had to do to try to get it off. So it was horrible. And yes, all of it's documented because it was so horrible. It was so horrible. I was like, we got to video this because this is ridiculous. So I posted it on my Facebook story and then it went a little viral. People were showing other people and I had to send it to a couple of people because they wanted to keep the videos. So
I just got to know, where were you?
I was on Scenic 98. So there's cars passing me. I was in public. It was not good. It was not good. So even I came for a women's panel here at Running Wild and I showed them the videos and everybody thought it was awesome. They just couldn't believe it.
It was really funny because this morning we met for Run Club and Sarah was like, oh, you're interviewing Allie? You have to ask her about the goo story.
Yes.
And I was like, what's the goo story? And so she started telling me and I was like, no.
Yes.
There's no way.
I know.
But I love how you even got in a ditch.
It's just, it was the only thing that I could find that I thought might work and it didn't. It was horrible.
I'm just trying to... The legs are slapped together.
Oh, God.
You're looking like you got to go pee, but they're not moving. And
No.
You're trying not to touch.
Yes.
So now you look like...
It was awful. It looked like maybe a huge pregnant lady, the way you would envision her running. That was the way that it
I was actually
looked.
thinking about a cowboy getting, or cowgirl getting off a
Yes.
horse.
Or that like you, maybe what you would look like if you rode a horse for a really long time. It was horrific. Horrific.
When you got home.
Oh my God, I threw the shorts away. I threw the shorts away and that was the last time I ran without lubrication. I always had my chafing stick, no matter what. No matter what.
Roasty, that's hilarious, Allie.
It was awful.
I can't believe you're not liking Voices of Fairhope and Daphne.
There might be some comments. I'm sure there's some comments.
Oh,
I could see it.
my goodness. Thanks for sharing that. That's a
you're
great
welcome.
story.
Yeah.
Also, a great lesson learned
I know.
that
Don't
goo.
don't trust the
paste.
goo for lube. Not at all. Use anything else. Anything.
Should be a hashtag.
It really should. Don't use
the
goo.
for...
Yeah, don't use the goo. It will ruin your day.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It was bad.
Especially in white shorts.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll show you the video when we're done.
Oh, my word. Let's talk about running shoes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so what are your favorite trail shoes and then what are your favorite road shoes?
So my favorite trail shoes are the Lone Peak Ultras, and I've had many different series of those, and they've just been tried and true. Like bought them brand new from here, from Running Wild, and they don't really carry a lot of the women's trail shoes, so they had them shipped in from the Pensacola store, and bought them, went and ran the 50K, no problem, no sore, no blisters, no nothing. So those are my kind of go-tos now. I know I can trust them.
Yeah.
And then my favorite road shoes right now, because I really don't like shoes. See, that's my problem, is I really, not that I prefer to run barefoot, but I do enjoy running barefoot whenever I can. Not on the road.
Okay, yeah.
There's a soccer field in Daphne. I will run just around the track, the soccer fields, and just circles and just listen to my music and be barefoot. And I love it, except when I find some stickers or one time I found some pecan shells.
Oh.
Those kind of feel like glass, FYI. But right now I'm on the Mount to Coast shoes. And they were suggested by a few runners, and I've seen people wear them at the long endurance races, like when they're doing the 100-milers, the 200-milers in different terrain. That's why I wore those on the mountain. So I was thinking, well, everyone else is doing these shoes, but maybe not for that type of incline. But those are my favorite ones at the moment. I do have another pair of Ultras. I think they're called the Flow, Experience Flow. And they're great, but they squeak.
Oh.
There's a squeak in the shoe if they get wet or if your shoes are sweaty. So I learned that on a very long run.
Oh. Yeah.
And I said, do you hear that? He's like, yeah, it's your shoe. Then that was all I could hear was the flippin' squeak over and over again. And then I'm like too sensitive to it. Now I hear other people's shoes squeaking.
Sure.
Like, how could you run with that squeak
And
noise?
all you can think about is like the little kids that wear the squeaky shoes.
Squeaky shoes.
Yeah, yeah.
So I do have a pair of squeaky shoes that I'll wear on occasion. But right now I'm trying out the Mount to Coast.
Okay.
I'm not a shoe person. I don't like buying shoes. I have like maybe 2-3 pairs of shoes.
Wow.
That's all I have.
Okay.
So when I'm at the gym, I'm barefoot doing movements at the gym. I prefer to do barefoot because I feel like I'm just more stable and secure, especially with lifting.
Sure.
Now, the lifting shoes definitely can benefit you, but I'm the worst CrossFitter ever. So I don't own a pair of lifting shoes. I'm even a CrossFit coach, and I don't wear lifting shoes. I lift barefoot. I'm the crazy barefoot girl at the gym. Oh, and I'm also a terrible runner. Like, I am not prepared like I should be for the things that I do. So, but that I think maybe that's gonna be my thing.
I think that adds to your experience.
Yeah.
You're like, I have no expectation.
No, I don't.
I think that's great.
Yeah, it keeps me from being disappointed with myself if I have no expectations or very little.
Here we go. I like it. That's a
So if I lower the bar to the complete bottom, even if I'm just a little bit above the bottom, I'm doing okay.
We did great.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I like that. So I have to know, do you fuel with goo on your long runs?
So I used to.
Okay.
And then I think there's something about me that doesn't like goo.
I don't like goo either, yeah.
And it's not a texture thing.
Okay.
But for when I ran my first 100, for 97 miles, I was farting. 97 miles.
It's so sweet.
Clockwork. It was one. Couldn't be just one. It was just these little air bubbles that just kept coming out the whole time.
Oh.
So now I'm done with that. I just can't. I don't even want to bring myself to have to deal with that or put other people through it. So I try not to do the goos anymore.
Okay.
But I will if I have to, for sure. Or try different brands.
What do you like to, so I know in trail running and with an ultramarathon, it's a little bit different because you do need fuel.
Yes.
So, and you did mention earlier that one of the runs you went to, you just got potatoes and salt, whatever you get.
Yes.
So are you like that now? Like where you're like at the rest stops, hey, I'm going to have a sandwich or I'm going to stop. Or is there something that you like to take with you?
So I do the Uncrustables, the ones that you freeze.
Yeah.
I found the hazelnut chocolate ones recently. And when I can remember, I'll buy those because I think I just get so caught up in making sure I have everything that I bring nothing. I don't even know if that makes any sense. I just make sure I bring shoes, some sort of shoe. We have chapstick.
A lubrication.
I've got lubrication, and I feel like I forget the things that I do because I'm not the kind of person, like, people will write all their stuff down. And the first 50 miler that I did, I tried to stay as organized as I could because I was terrified, just terrified. And I felt like I did pretty well, but I don't know. There's something about me that the unpreparedness I can't get away from it.
Yeah.
It's my thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I did a 50 miler recently with my buddy Sam. It was his first. So I went to help him get through it, even though he absolutely could have done it without me. But we did a CrossFit competition together because he's a coach and I'm a coach. So we show up and I was like, all right, what's our plan? He's like, just go. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So our style is very much the same.
There we go, yeah.
So you just bring a little bit and hope for the best. Like, for some reason, that's just what keeps happening to me. And even the things that I bring, I don't even use them. That's the other problem. On my last run, I had all this stuff. I barely used any of it. And then I carried it the whole way.
Yeah.
So I try to prepare. And then life just like the run just goes the way that it does.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's very unorganized, but somehow I make it through.
That's great. And that's a great memory. And
well,
then you learn from it, right?
Yeah, you definitely learn from it. And I think for me, I'm learning what I can, as far as I can get with as little as I'm using. So if I'm only getting a little bit of fuel and I'm only getting a little bit of energy, yet I'm still getting through, it gives me hope that I'm pushing myself, but I'm not even there yet. I'm not even to the peak of, oh, this is my breaking point, or I could go further. I know I can, and it happens every single time I finish a race. Every single time I finish a race, even after the 100, I thought, this is my first 100. I'm so excited. I'm almost done. I even gave my buddy a piggyback ride at mile 95 just so we could make a funny video. But I crossed the finish line and everybody's getting emotional when they're finishing. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to cry in public. And that's embarrassing to me. I finished and I was like, oh, okay. Oh, that was it. All right. I don't know. I felt like a soulless weirdo that I was not emotional, but I think I was more afraid of myself because I was like, that's not the limit. And that's always this game that I like to play with myself. And it's not a fun game.
Yeah, sure.
But it's, where is the breaking point for me? Like, where is that mileage? I'm like, I can't go any further. If I go any further, I'm going to die. Or my legs are going to break or something's going to happen. And I just don't know where that is yet. But that kind of freaks me out a little bit because that could be something substantial.
Hell, we got into that wanting to train for the 200.
Yes.
Okay.
So I wanted to do a 200 just to do it, see how it would go. So I haven't really picked one yet.
Okay.
But I did pace someone for his 200 and it looks brutal. It looks brutal.
Okay.
So,
But it's on the list.
but it's on the list.
Okay.
I have a lot of things on the list and I really don't even know how I'm going to get through all these things. I think I'm really just, I think I could do more, even though if I don't know if I can. It's a weird feeling.
Yeah.
Like I want to, but I don't know if I can.
But you won't know until you try.
But you won't know until you try.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's,
And I love the attitude that you have because then you're like, well, that wasn't a failure. It was just a lesson learned.
Yeah,
And now I'm going to go back and I'm going to try again.
Yeah.
And we're just going to see what happens.
for sure.
That's a brilliant strategy.
Yeah, you just lower the bar and give yourself some credit. And if you make it past the finish line, great. And if you don't, that's okay too.
Yeah.
Because there's other finish lines that are waiting for you.
Oh, yeah.
So it
That is
just might
great.
not have been your day.
Yeah.
Every dog has their day.
That's right. I love that. You've already mentioned a good running memory. One of your favorites, that's meeting on the mountain, which I love.
Yep.
Do you have another favorite running memory?
I do. So that one is actually about the 200 that I paced for a buddy. So from beginning to the very end, the whole duration of the event was not ideal.
Oh, okay.
So it was in Memphis, Tennessee. This was earlier this year. And I think it was in April. But all of a sudden, during this 200-mile run, they can't pick up a pacer until I think they're 65 miles in. If
Okay.
They're doing the 200.
Wow, okay.
So my plan was to show up on a certain day, pace him through his second night. But they pulled them from the race the first night because of horrible weather. Tornadoes, flooding, lightning.
Wow.
So they're pulled from the race. And I said, well, I've already taken off work. I'm still going to come out
Yeah.
and I'll just hang out with the aid station and be with them and
Yeah.
help any other runner if they need me. And then I'll pace you when you want me. So finally get out there. And when I say flooding, do you remember when Lake Forest was underwater a couple of months ago? It was during that storm, but it hit Memphis first. Or as it did, it was sweeping across the United States. And it flooded Memphis.
Wow.
So where we were was a very interesting park. And they had bison and they had deer and
in Memphis?
in Memphis.
Okay.
And Memphis can be a here or there place.
Sure. Clearly.
Yes.
I would have never thought
with
bison.
Yeah.
Okay.
So at this park, when I show up, the trail is completely underwater and everybody's covered in mud. They're trampling through this just horrible, horrible mud. So then he picks me up at his mile marker where he can have a pacer. So the very first loop that we do, we come across a creek where there was a bridge and it's about thigh high in rushing water, but you can't see the bridge. So you're inching your way over to the bridge and the water is rushing. a lady had fallen off the bridge and got trapped.
What?
And so they get her out of the water. They rescue her. And we kept going, and it rained, and it rained, and it just didn't stop. I don't think it ever stopped. And it actually did stop. Another person you had interviewed, Rebecca, y'all are fresh junkie.
Yeah.
Fresh junkie folks. She was doing the 100. So but by the time she showed up, it did finally stop raining. But then it was hot. So before she got there, and a lot of other runners I knew were doing the 100, it was raining. There was tornadoes. They're stopping the race. They're starting the race. The flash floods. We went through several parts that were flooded, and there were leeches all over the trail. There were worms, the bison, there were deer. We heard gunshots in the middle of the night. The lightning it was horrible. It was horrible because I was there for, I think, 2 days. So then I was on and off pacing him for 2 days. We're sleeping in our car. It never stops raining. We're just running all hours of the night. And some people were injured with blisters, or they just couldn't do it. I saw this one chick. She completely melted down. I felt so horrible for her. I don't know what happened, but people are injuring themselves trying to stay stable on the trail. And so he's struggling. He wants to quit. And it was hot. It was cold. It was the most bipolar race I've ever ran before in my life. It had everything in it. Everything.
Wow.
Literally everything. So that's probably my most colorful running memory. And then I ended up pacing him for 100 miles of his 200 because I really didn't have anything else to do.
Sure. Wow.
So that was fun. I've never eaten that many hamburgers and donuts and bacon before in my life. And I'll tell you what, donuts and bacon, that will get you really far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It will get you really far. There's something very magical about bacon.
That leads to, you've mentioned how you like a good hamburger after. Do you have a favorite pre-race meal?
Just basically, I keep it simple because I'm always worried that something downstairs is going to be happening. But I normally just go with coffee and oatmeal, even though oatmeal is supposed to be the new thing that's not good for you. But I like it.
Yeah,
so whatever. I like a good chocolate chip oatmeal that Kodiak makes.
Yeah.
So I really like just doing something simple and keeping it that way. Yeah. Nothing too risky, nothing too greasy. I've learned that the hard way.
So no bacon thrown on the air.
So I don't do bacon in the morning. But yeah, I don't need to be off in the woods using a sock again for toilet paper. So you got to keep it, got to be real careful with what you eat the day before.
That's true. It's true.
I had somebody ask me, he said, what should I eat? I said, everything the same. Don't do anything differently.
Sure.
Just eat whatever you eat in the morning.
Yeah.
Keep it simple. Yeah. That was before the battleship. It was his first time running it. So he was scared.
Yeah. There are bathrooms along the way for that one, but there's also lines. And no.
I know. I was going to do a run for my birthday, which is today, FYI.
Birthday.
Oh, thank you. I know. I forgot. No.
Wow.
This is what I want to do on my birthday.
No, I'm just like, wow, that's so cool. Okay.
So I was going to do 39 miles to celebrate my birthday. And I was clocking it with my car from our turnaround spot, which is, by the way, Weeks freaking Bay. And there's no bathrooms. There's nowhere to even.
Yeah.
It's all residents. So I'm like, I think I should bring some adult diapers. I have nowhere else to go.
I love that's your mentality.
Yeah. I'm like, well.
Because we're not going to end up in a ditch somewhere.
Well, there's too many snakes. There's too many alligator snapping turtles. I'm just not trying to do that.
Not risking it for the benefit.
Yeah. It's not worth all that. So
I got to know, what are your running jams?
So short runs will be nice and eclectic. It'll be a little bit of heavy metal. It'll be some EDM. Something about the repetitive noise, but not really a lot of words gets me through.
Sure.
And actually, the hip hop rap on some longer runs really helps keep me calm because it's normally a steady beat and it's always a little bit lower key.
Okay.
So it doesn't spike my heart rate too high and just keeps it nice and mellow. But on really long runs, I just go Goggins.
Oh.
No music.
Okay.
Yeah, no music.
Let's just go Goggins.
Yeah, go Goggins. And if you haven't done it, it's really fun. But the David Goggins Challenge is a really fun one to do.
Okay.
If you haven't heard of it.
What is the challenge?
So it's 4 miles every 4 hours.
Okay.
And it's for 48 hours.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fun. So I just went off somebody else's itinerary and just started when he started. And it was really fun. I really liked it.
Wow.
I even had some friends set up lawn chairs because they knew I'd be going on that route. So they were out there cheering me on.
Okay. All right. All right. Let's talk about recovery a little bit. You did mention Epsom salt bath.
Yes, that Epsom salt baths is typically my first go-to.
Okay.
And even for the knee.
Okay.
Even whenever I scraped up my knee, sitting in an Epsom salt bath is, to me, really beneficial. I've used it for so many things, like when I stepped on a nail, do it Epsom salt soaks.
Okay.
And then as much protein as you can take in.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
So I try to do a lot of protein, even if it's not just meat. I'll do protein shakes, and then glutamine is another go-to that I learned using a nutrition coach.
Okay.
Was how beneficial glutamine is for muscle recovery.
Okay.
And they use glutamine for so many different things, even burn victims. So whenever I was using glutamine and I was lifting really heavy, I was running every day, I was never sore.
Do you have a favorite brand?
There's a brand that I order off of Amazon, and it's one that I do stick with.
Okay.
Not that there aren't better ones.
Sure.
It's just the one I'm like, well, I like it and it worked fine.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
can't say I experiment a lot
Yeah.
with certain things. If it works, then I'll just keep it that way.
Yeah. Isn't that funny? Because you're like, no, like, not like that.
I know.
But then, see, I will test shoes all day long. Running clothing, I'm with you. I'm still trying to figure out
Yes.
the magic secret sauce to that.
Me too.
Because everything fits differently.
God, yes.
Nothing is what maybe one size here is not a size here.
I know.
What they say doesn't ride up, rides up.
Oh,
You're just
absolutely.
trying to find stuff. But there are certain things that I'm like, now we're going to stick with this.
Yeah.
We're going to stick with this brand. We're going to stick with, there's certain things that I think as runners, we're like, no.
Yep.
This is I need this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I try that with a few different brands. When it comes to the running clothing, everything's so expensive.
Yeah.
And I try to do my own research, and I listen to other people's reviews, and I try all those things, and it's still not for me.
Yeah.
So I think my favorite running shorts, it's not a very expensive brand. I think I just ordered them from Amazon, but they're a longer legging, but they have just enough tummy control because I like keeping it all in because if I have to feel it while I'm running, it's just too much. I already know that it jiggles. I don't need to feel it. So everybody's got their own thing. That is for sure.
Yeah.
So there's not one size fits all.
No. Yeah. I'm with you. Absolutely. So you mentioned CrossFit. Is that what you use for your cross training?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Because even if it's not doing specific CrossFit workouts,
Okay.
it's doing things that we do a lot in CrossFit, which is using the free weights. And I like dumbbells. And my favorite is a kettlebell.
Oh, yes.
A kettlebell is, I don't think that you really need anything else. Like a kettlebell is just the way to go. You can just use it for anything that you want to train for. Your legs, your upper body, core, everything can be done with a kettlebell. So I am definitely known as the kettlebell girl at the gym.
I love that.
For sure. We were doing an in-house competition, and each week was a different challenge. And one week was rowing, and I even got the rowing one. I was shocked because the first person that goes is not going to be the winner.
Yeah.
They're not going to be the winner. Everybody's going to try to beat your time.
Okay.
And then I got a message. I was out of town. She was like, hey, you got the rowing workout. I was like, shut up. How does that even happen? And then there was a kettlebell farmer's carry where you had two heavy kettlebells. You had to go a certain length for time. And then got that one as well. So there's definitely a kettlebell love with me. And speaking of runs and races that are really unique, I just want to give a shout out to a running group that I have discovered. I think it was last year I first found them. I ran their first ultramarathon that they put on. And they're called Running Birds.
Okay.
So the Running Birds, they're out of Birmingham, and they put on a race, which another one's coming up. It's called the Kettlebell Countdown.
Oh,
and
okay.
it's an elimination race. So very interesting race. I almost didn't go, even though I signed up, because it just seemed like it was going to be hard. I was like, oh, I don't really want to. But I always end up going, and everybody had the same weight. So guys and girls, we all had a 20-pound kettlebell. So at the beginning, each 1 mile loop at Oak Mountain State Park, go figure, each 1 mile loop was timed.
Okay.
So we started at 8 o'clock in the morning, You go do your first loop, you come back, and then your second mile gets shorter. So you only have a certain amount of time to complete each of your miles.
Whoa.
But if you do it quicker, you get more rest. And you really could walk a good portion of the first part.
And you're carrying a kettlebell.
And you're carrying a kettlebell.
In one hand.
In one hand.
Right? Yeah.
You cannot have any assistance. You can't have backpacks. You can't wear straps.
Right.
So the best way I found to hold it was up just on my shoulder. Most people just carried it a farmer's carry where it was down by their leg.
Sure.
But I didn't really like that. So that was a really fun, we did 31 miles.
Wow.
So that was a really fun race. And then I won the women's overall. So my trophy was a kettlebell, and I just really wanted the kettlebell. That was what I went there to get, and that was what I wanted.
That's amazing.
And so I still have the kettlebell, and it was really fun. It was really unique. I brought my Chucky doll, and I hung him up next to my chair. And then that was really how me and the race directors began this wonderful friendship that we have, because they had so many questions on what's wrong with this girl. Why did she bring this Chucky doll? Who brings a Chucky doll? And that was actually one of my more unique races, but it was also a terrible race that I ran with them another time. Not their fault, but it was not a great race for me when we get to that course. But
Well,
it
go
was,
ahead.
Yeah.
Worst race.
Worst race was a race that they were hosting, and it wasn't anything that they did, but it was my performance in the race. But it was my friend Sarah, it was her first 50. So I convinced her that it's time to do a 50 because she is the 50K queen. That was her happy mileage, was a 50K. It's like, no, we're getting you a 50 miler and we're doing it.
Okay.
And so I knew the Running Birds were putting on this 50 miler, but it started at night.
Okay.
So we started at sunset. And so it was up in Birmingham, and it's a run through the woods. But not only is it a run through the woods, you also had to climb this set of metal stairs.
Oh.
So when other runners are running above you, you're being showered in mud.
No.
That was so fun. But not long after we had begun the race, other than it being humid and it was muggy, it was muddy because it had rained. And on the first loop, I slipped and I fell on my butt. My headlamp flies off, and I am covered in mud, covered. So I slipped and fell on my butt, and probably a few more yardages later, Sarah face plants and skids into first base. So she falls, I fall, and throughout the night, it really wasn't a very fair run because it was so muddy that there were parts that you had to step on all these obstacles to get over the mud puddles. So it was really hard to take off running. You just almost couldn't. You would run for a little bit and then you have to stop.
Yeah.
But starting it at night and beginning it that way did something to my equilibrium or something. And then I became very nauseous.
Oh.
And I was nauseous for about the next 7 hours.
No.
And when you're nauseous, you don't want to eat. You don't want to drink.
Yeah.
And then I became completely fatigued. I was all out of energy because I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to do anything. I tried to puke and that didn't work. I even went in to puke and somebody else was puking. And so I'm glad I wasn't alone though.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be alone in this. And that was definitely my worst race.
Wow.
Because of the way I was performing. But Sarah did great. She did great on her first 50 miler. She was hammering it down and I'm over here going, ugh. But that goes back to the community was we had each other. So even if she was feeling down, hopefully the fact that I was feeling so much worse helped.
That's right. And that you both slipped and fell and
I know.
muddy.
Yeah.
And,
We were muddy for the duration of the race. So
wow.
And then being showered in mud
as
it rained from the staircase was also really fun. And we all tripped over the same route. And I knew when I was getting close to the route because I'd hear somebody scream.
Oh.
So.
Because they had fallen.
Because they had fallen.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
Being in the trenches together.
Yeah.
Man.
Yes.
Okay.
So the Running Birds, that's their spin on things is they do races that are unlike any other one.
Sure.
So they just had a race they did recently. It was called the Raffle Run. So each loop that you did, you'd come in and get a raffle ticket for whatever you wanted to win. They had $1,000 cash, or they had a Carnival gift card. They had a 10-ounce bar of silver. They had a whole table of things in each loop that you were able to accomplish. That was more raffle tickets you could get for that one item.
They're like Lazarus Lake, who's always, what else can we do to a human being to just mess with them?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. But I really like that. Like, I am so drawn to the odd things because it just, I don't know, it makes you a different beast.
Yeah. But also something fun to look forward to because it's different.
Oh my God. Yeah. And I love doing different. And that's the obstacle course races. That's why those are always fun. It's always something different.
Always something different.
I've done a couple of Spartan races and those were fun too. But yeah, that's why I like doing their races and going and running up a mountain that I've never been on before. And you just don't know what's going to happen.
You don't
know what's going to happen. Hopefully it's on film when it does.
Whether it's using goo or...
Yeah, using goo or falling on your face.
Chapstick.
Yep, or barfing in the bathroom. Right. You just don't know what's going to happen.
That's right. Absolutely. So speaking of all of that, leads right into what advice would you give to somebody that's listening and they're like, Allie, I want to start running, but I'm nervous.
Yes.
What is advice you'd give to them?
I would say just starting small and starting from there. And this is something I learned recently. I don't know why it took me this long to realize it. Not every race or not every run has to be fast and furious. Not every run has to be fast. And that took me years to figure out. Because when you're on the sidewalk, you think, well, this is my time to go fast. But it doesn't have to be. Yeah. Because running is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be enjoyable. And when I started going a little slower, I was like, hey, this is way better. Or giving yourself a little bit of a break and not running the whole time.
Yeah.
So that is something I've learned is it doesn't have to be fast. It just needs to be fun. Because if it's not fun, you're not going to want to do it. And definitely when it comes to ultra running, it's not about being fast and it's not about winning. It's just about finishing.
Yeah.
And sometimes if the finish line doesn't get there and you don't quite make it, that's okay too. That is okay too. And that's just something that I've learned is just to dig deep. And like I said, it doesn't matter what you've done in your youthful ages. I see people that are so much older than me and they are kicking my butt on the trail. Like in our generation, as we're getting older and I see all these people that are still out here kicking butt, it's so inspiring.
Oh, absolutely.
It's so inspiring. Yes. And they're helping me get through some of these races as I'm struggling. They're coming up behind me and they're passing me. Yeah. And he's like, come run with me for a little bit. Let's pace. And I see them all the time, again and again at some of these races. And I come up to them like, didn't I see you with this race? And I love seeing the familiar faces because the ultra running community, it's not very large. It really isn't. Funny story. So the other Running Wild, Pensacola, a few of the guys that work there were doing the 50 miler that I did in Pensacola recently.
Okay.
So then, of course, it rained. It rained that morning and then it was muggy the rest of the day. And I was wearing a pair of another white shorts, which made the shorts see-through.
Okay, yeah.
So when I saw the guy that I recognized, I didn't know his name, and I said, hey, Running Wild guy. And when I went to the store to get some shoes for my son, I saw him, and I said, yeah, how'd you do in the race? And we talked about how the race went and the things we liked and the things we didn't like. And I said, I was the girl wearing the see-through shorts. And he said, I know exactly who you are now. Because I thought that when I saw you was I could see through her shorts. And I even told the guy I was running with, I said, that's going to be my new Native American name is Clear Butt. So, and that was true. That was how he remembered me.
But without goo.
But no goo.
Oh, that is great.
No goo.
That was already a win.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So people are remembering me, but maybe not the way I want to be remembered.
That is
like
fantastic.
the goose story.
The goose story.
Or the clear shorts.
Or the white short. Yeah.
So I'm making a name for myself. It's just a little embarrassing.
But the great thing is you can laugh at yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you own it.
I just didn't even care. When you're running a race like that, people are throwing up and they're having issues. Yeah. And I've seen that happen a lot. Sure. And no, you just can't care.
Yeah.
You just cannot, 100%. You cannot be bothered by the disgustingness that comes with ultramarathon.
That's right. Yeah.
Because things just happen without you wanting them to.
100%. But you are, that's just, I think, in running in general.
And yeah.
Even some 5Ks, I'm like, whoa, buddy, that's unnecessary.
Yeah. Yeah. One time I had to run home with one sock on, and you know what happened. You knew what happened. And
It did.
after drinking some heavy whipping cream in my coffee,
Oh, and we left that sock out there.
I actually brought it home
No.
and I washed it
No.
and then continued to wear the socks for years later.
Wow.
And it gets even better. They were free socks because I found them at Airbnb in Mississippi. And they were under a dresser. I was like, oh, somebody left these socks. And they deemed them good enough to wear, so I'm going to take them. So they were free socks. And then I used them as toilet paper. And then I went home and washed it.
Wow.
People at the gym still talk about that.
Yeah. I sure hope.
Because I posted about it. I had a picture of it in the Ziploc bag when I brought it home.
We're going to have to put sock girl, goo girl, and clear shorts somewhere.
Yeah.
We're going to have to put this in ChatGPT.
Yes.
To come up with a name.
Yeah, there needs to be a new trail name for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there does.
Most people remember me because of my Smokey Bear tattoo that's on the back of my arm here. So that's a nickname that some folks have given me. But when people call me Smokey, it just reminds me of Friday.
Okay.
And then I feel like I have to explain. I'm like, it's not because of that. It's my tattoo.
Sorry.
Yeah. I don't do that.
That's fantastic. So you've talked about some hard times, wanting to give up or when you have to. Is there a mantra? Is there something that you tell yourself?
Yeah. And there's some not so nice names that I call myself in those times that I can't say. But there is. And speaking of Friday, one of the lines from Friday, I actually wrote it huge on my arm. And I'll just replace one of the words with baby.
Okay.
And it's stop being a baby and come on. And then I wrote Debo underneath it. So I like the tough love on myself. I need you just to tell me to stop being a baby and let's go.
Okay.
And so I say that all the time. And many times when I wanted to stop, many, it's nope, you keep going. Just, you're not going to stop. This is not it. I really have to have a conversation with myself. And I have a conversation with myself beforehand, typically. And it's always the same thing. And I tell other people this too. And I just have to say, this is your job today. Your only job today is to finish this race. And if you're not bleeding, you don't have any broken bones, keep going, even though the last time I was running, I was bleeding. So we can skip past that one. But quitting is not an option. Quitting is not an option unless you are forced to.
Yeah.
By not even your own will.
Right.
Like the race crew that said, you're going to time cap. I was like, cool, I'm leaving then.
Yeah.
Or if you have a broken bone, that's not your choice.
Yeah.
But never to quit just because you're tired.
Yeah. Ooh.
I listened to a podcast about running a 100 miler because I'm trying to take in as much information as I could. And he said he quit at mile 80 because he was tired. And to me, I just could never imagine doing that.
Okay.
And for me, it's just put one foot in front of the other. I've actually sang that song. There's a song that have those lyrics. And the first 50 miler that I did at Oak Mountain, which I came in first, I didn't even know that until 2 years later.
What? Nobody told me.
Nobody told me. And I'm pretty sure it was just for my age group. But still, no one even said anything. But there's a song and it's called One Foot in Front of the Other. And so I sang that song the whole time, just one foot in front of the other. But that's all you have to do. You can say as many rude, crude, terrible things to yourself, but as long as you keep walking, I don't even care if you're running, just keep walking. That's it. Just keep moving and eventually you'll get there.
Yeah.
Or you'll get to a point where you get a little bit more lifted. You're closer to the finish line. It's typically where the middle meat of the race. The beginning, it's like, I'm fresh and I'm good. And then as you get to the middle, you're like, I am not to the finish line and I'm not close to the beginning. And that's when things get thick.
Yeah.
But once you get a little bit closer, you get that second wind a little bit mentally. Or find another runner that you're pacing with. But don't pace with the wrong person. That was how I came in first. For the 50 miler, I was running with some other folks. They were running a different distance, but I didn't even think about that.
Oh.
And they're hauling it.
Sure.
And I'm like, I'm going to keep up with them. And we're having great conversation. And just wasn't even thinking about it. And so know who you're pacing with. If you strike up a conversation with David Goggins, don't think that you can continue that pace. Because you're going to die. You're going to die. But you also don't want to pace with somebody going too slow either. So really pay attention to who you're with. Unless you've come with this person.
Yeah.
And this is what we're doing and we're running this together. It doesn't matter if you're going fast or slow.
Yeah.
But if you find another runner, make sure that they're on the pace level that you need.
Well, that's good.
So not too fast and not too slow.
That's really good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Because I've done that before also. Being with someone that was going too slow, but not even realizing it. So just pay attention to your stats, which I also don't do. When I'm running a race, I don't even start my watch.
Okay.
I will clock my short runs, but never a long run. But it's mostly so I can save the battery on my phone. And I'm not playing music. I'm not clocking it, which drives people crazy. I think I told Rebecca one time during the 100 that I didn't even start the watch. And it was bothering her. I could tell. She was like, oh my God, how could you not be clocking this? She's like, I couldn't do that. So
That's awesome.
I know I'm going to get it done. And so it doesn't matter to me what my Strava stats look like or any app that I'm using. It just doesn't matter.
Oh, that's awesome.
It doesn't matter.
Hey, you're just out there winging it. We're going.
Absolutely.
We're going back. And I think that's a key thing, though. You're focused on how you're feeling and you're listening to your body.
Yeah.
And you're taking it all in.
Right.
And as you mentioned, sometimes you're with somebody else and you're letting them lead.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah. So it keeps me a little bit more out of my head. You're not really paying attention to how fast you're going. But mostly I think it's just where I don't have to charge my phone. And I don't really have any great expensive Garmin watches. I have the bottom of the barrel Garmin that everybody had because it was cheap. And then I have an Apple Watch that'll die in like a few hours. So again, when it comes to gear, it took me 7 years to buy poles, to buy a pair of poles. Maybe another 7 years I'll buy a nice watch. Or I'll just take the watch off. What does it even matter anymore? So I don't know. I'm not great with keeping up with pace, but it definitely can help you if you are really trying to make a certain time.
Sure.
But for races, I'm just trying to finish.
Yeah.
I'm not typically trying to come in first, except for that kettlebell. I wanted
The kettlebell.
the kettlebell. And then I did a race a few months back called Muddy Cruds. And I really wanted to set the pace, or I wanted to set the record for the women.
Wow.
And I got really close, but it rained the whole time. And not only did it rain, it was so windy that it was picking up everybody's tents and taking them across the yard. And it was, I think it was a 2-mile loop, which got really monotonous.
Sure.
Really monotonous. But it rained the whole time. And so everything was muddy. And so it was really hard to go full throttle. But it was a 12-hour race.
Okay.
So for 12 hours, you got as many loops in that you could.
Yeah.
Met some really fun runners that day, though. They were just out there doing their thing, and we're still friends to this day. And I took the women's overall runner for that day. I don't think I took overall runner because there was another guy. I think he finished maybe after me just in time. But we got 54 miles in that 12-hour period.
Wow.
So I got a wet loaf of bread because it was raining.
Yeah.
And left there. My mom was there. She was visiting and went and got me some beer and went back to our Airbnb.
That is great.
Yeah. Again, it's always raining.
Yeah. I feel like that should also go into your name. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There. I don't know how we'll incorporate the rain,
Princess
but yeah.
raindrops or something.
Yeah,
We're
but
gonna
like
have to,
what with the goo, the rain, the shoes,
the shorts.
the shorts.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like ChatGPT could totally come up with something for us.
I think we should.
I think we should try it.
Yeah. I need to do that.
Let's shift a little bit to goals.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I touched a little bit on my goals, and it's just to be basically as psychotic as possible. But it's just to find where my breaking point is. Like, I'm very excited and terrified to find out what mile is it going to be? What mile is going to be the point where I'm having a mental breakdown? For some reason, I feel like that would be the only thing to stop me. If I'm having a mental breakdown. Because physically, I think I can do a lot more than I can mentally. I think because that's the great thing about ultra marathons is it's not just physical. It is so mental. So mental. So that's just always a good challenge is how am I going to handle this mentally? Am I going to overcome it? And then I'd rather overcome it physically or mentally or both. And then it's, what is the next? I'm like, what is the next challenge? How far do I need to go now? I've done 100. Let me do a 2. If I do a 2, can I do a 3? And then if I do a 3, what am I going to do with myself?
You're going to do another triathlon.
Yeah, apparently I'm just going to,
and we're going to do
I'm just going to keep suffering. But the one thing that I love that I read recently was you don't have to be crazy to be a runner, but it helps.
Yeah. That's
so
true.
It's so true. And I had somebody ask me yesterday, why are you like this? And I get that a lot. I get, you're crazy. Why are you like this? I'm like, this actually holds down the crazy. You have no idea what I'd be like if I didn't run sometimes and do these things to myself.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine. I don't know if you've seen any of my Goodwill dancing videos, but I feel like there'd be a lot more of those. So I go to Goodwill and I find these outrageous outfits or wigs or wedding dress or something. And then I make little videos about it. But I thrift shop is typically the tune that goes along with the video. And people love them for some reason. But it entertains me for sure.
Right.
Yeah. I'll have to send you some.
You should make some running ones.
Yes.
Like, this is my running outfit. This is what it's like.
Oh, God. It would be, this is my running outfit fail number 1.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what not to wear.
This is what not to wear.
Yeah, don't do this. I'm really good at those. Don't do this.
I think you should do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds great.
I have a lot more fails with the don't do this, don't wear this.
These shorts are see-through.
Yeah, these shorts are see-through. When it rains, don't wear these. And I don't wear underwear, so that's not what you want. That's not what you want, believe me.
Right.
Not everybody wants to see that.
It's okay. You didn't know.
I didn't. I really didn't.
No one else cared.
No.
Runners weren't like,
No.
oh. Because runners know.
No, they know.
They're like,
Yeah.
oh, it's okay. She doesn't know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Even if there's other things, you're like, oh, man, she's having a day.
She's lucky she got here.
That's right. Yeah, she's still running, so that's all that matters.
Exactly. What is your favorite length to run? Whether it's race day or it's a training run. Do you have a secret sauce distance?
So I really, if I'm doing something to participate in a race, typically I like a 50.
Okay.
A 50 miler is,
Just typical.
I know, it's challenging, but it's not a killer. It's not a killer. So when I did my first 100, I couldn't even move my legs when I got home.
Sure. That's fair.
And I had to physically pick up my leg to move it. And I couldn't eat anything. That was what was so odd. And I'm an eater.
Yeah.
Look at me. And I could only eat a couple of bites and then it would hurt. It felt like there was a rock in my stomach. It was very strange, kind of freaked me out a little bit.
Sure.
But I think your body is just under such stress that it just doesn't even know what to do with itself. But the thing that helped with that and that I learned was to keep moving. You got to keep walking around.
Okay.
You got to stretch.
Yeah.
Even if it is so excruciating, but even just small stretches. So I couldn't sleep because sleeping was stopping and it hurt. So I just kind of shuffled around the house after the 100. And then I would just sit on the couch and play on my phone and fall asleep sitting straight up and wake back up, try to eat again. And it was brutal. But with the 50s, and I've done a few now, it's such a fun distance. It's so challenging, but it's not going to kill you. You still can move. You can still maybe run the next day or give yourself a break in between. So I've always found that to be a really great distance. You're so proud of it. 50 miles is crazy. 30 miles is crazy. So 50 is like my happy place. If you ask me to go do 50 tomorrow, I'll be like, okay, let's go do it.
Okay.
But 100, I'll be like, oh, well, I guess so. We can do that.
Is it for
Yeah, I know. It probably will. I'm just going to assume that it's going to.
That's good. I like, okay. Hey, that's great, Allie.
Hey, once you do one, it's really just overcoming that finish line whenever you get through the 30 miler or the 50 and then the 100. You're like, okay, it wasn't that bad because I'm not doing it for speed. So I think that for me helps with my physique is that I'm able to finish it, just maybe not fast.
Sure.
I'm not going to be in the top 5 for an ultra marathon. Not typically. That was only a couple of times. That was a just rare situation.
I love that so much.
That was rare that happened twice on 50 milers. But typically I'm just there to huff it out with everybody else. You know, to see everybody from all walks of life, and I love it. There's people that are in shape, there's people that are not. And I feel like I'm somewhere in between.
Yeah.
I've got a shirt that says kind of fit, kind of fat. And I feel like that might be me for life.
Stop.
That might just be, that's my thing.
I swear I can run. I
swear I don't smoke. I don't smoke, and I swear I work out. This is just bad timing that you're catching me right now. But even when I was in Montana, I went up some stairs and I was going, this is before the race. It's like, oh crap, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. And then I had a Bloody Mary and
It was all good.
it was all good. So just got to numb the thoughts.
Oh, there we go. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, you just have to numb the thoughts.
I love it.
I just couldn't care. Just couldn't care.
I love that. I am so excited about the next question. So when you're not running, what fuels you? What are you passionate about?
So I would say top overall would be backpacking. So I can walk and walk and walk and walk and walk forever. And I love having a heavy pack, which I have learned that I've gotten too heavy with, but seeing places in the country that a huge percentage will never see before, like never see in their lifetime. And because some of these places are hidden, they're hard to get to. So that really cuts down on the people that you see out there. The last backpacking trip that we did, it was 4 nights, 5 days.
Wow.
And I found a trail that was 45 miles in the Wind River Range in Wyoming. And it was a butt kicker. The gain and loss with the elevation, it was a big deal. And not only was it hard with the ups and the downs in our heavy packs, was the trail would just disappear.
Whoa.
So navigating was not easy.
Yeah.
And there were 5 of us, and it was me and my husband and 3 of our friends. 3 of them decided that was not going to be how they wanted to do the rest of the trip. This is after day 1.
Whoa. Okay.
So when we gave up on day 1 and we said, this is where we're sleeping, we're not where we're supposed to be, but we are beat up and exhausted. So we went to sleep, we woke up, and the 3 of them decided they were not going to keep going. And I've spent all this time and all this research and bought all this gear, and I was not ready to turn around.
Yeah.
That was not what I went out there to do. I went out there to get my butt kicked and see some beautiful mountains. So my husband decided he was going to stick with me, and we went together. We almost killed each other, by the way. So that's actually where this tattoo comes from. It says it's not day 2.
Oh.
Because the second day of that trip,
somebody's body was gonna be missing.
somebody was going to be missing, and I was the one with the gun.
Oh.
So
Yeah. Okay.
it really could have gone so many different ways. When we departed from our group, they were like, he's not coming back. He's not coming back. Like, she's going to take him out. So we had no GPS.
Okay.
We had no way to call anybody. We had a paper map. We had a paper freaking map.
Who reads those anymore?
Oh my God. We had to basically figure out where we were by whatever body of water was on the map. And that kind of looked like this one. That was the way that we went.
Wow.
And I had done research, and I had watched YouTube videos on this
Yeah.
trail and how they were doing it. And that was how I based our itinerary, was how the other hikers had gone. And so day 2 was bad. It was really bad. He wanted to quit. He was mad at me. And we had a come to Jesus meeting.
With a gun.
With a gun. And I was like, I'm not going to keep going like this. I cannot keep going if you're yelling at me and if you're mad at me. This is already so hard.
Yeah.
And the way that I explained the race that I did in Big Sky, this was exactly the way that it went out in Wyoming. It was one brutal incline mountain after another. And then the trail would disappear. So we didn't even know if we were going the right way.
Wow.
And then a trail would reappear, but we didn't even know if it was the one we were supposed to be on.
Oh.
There was one part we were on a trail, and then it went 3 different ways.
Any, mini, money, no.
Oh my God. It was, and it kept happening over and over again. And then we finally get to our second day. And again, we are not where we were supposed to be on the itinerary. We weren't there yet, but we had to stop.
Yeah.
We couldn't take it anymore. And I'm documenting each morning how the day went. And I looked terrible on that second day. I looked like the living dead. So we wake up, and I was like, I don't know how we can keep going. I don't know if I can do this again, like another day like this. It was so horrific. And it was just the 2 of us. But we kept going because it was rather go back the way we came
Yeah.
or try to keep going.
Sure.
So we kept going, and thank God it got better, because we would probably be divorced if it were anything like day 2.
Wow.
The fact that we got through day 2
Yeah.
was a miracle. And the Continental Divide Trail kind of weaves in and out of there. So that's probably has something to do with the multiple trails on this one. So we finally made it out. We were so mentally hardened. We had become concrete on the inside that nothing could affect us at that point. So we finally get out, and we're supposed to meet up with our other crew. And we end up at this little restaurant, I guess you could call it that. He cooked hamburgers on a propane grill outside. They didn't have electricity.
Sounds like serial killer right there.
It was. And they served the bloodiest burger I'd ever had. And then they had beer in ice chests. And it was the best meal we had ever had.
Yeah.
And then the other hikers showed up at the restaurant, and I just couldn't believe that we found each other again. We had no way of communicating with them. I didn't even know they were going to be at the restaurant.
Wow.
We were supposed to meet hours later at the trailhead.
Wow.
But Paul and I took a wrong turn, a go figure, and then ended up at the restaurant, not the trailhead. But we were like, well, since we're here, we're going to eat.
Yeah.
So it was crazy. And we're sitting around the table and we're exchanging stories. And we were joking about one of the other guys that was with us because he works for Daphne PD.
Okay.
And we were like, Baldwin County's finest over here. And another person hears us. And he said, I used to live in Daphne.
Stop.
We were in the middle of Wyoming. And when I mean the middle of Wyoming, this place didn't even have electricity. Like, how are you here right now? How does this keep happening? This is the smallest world ever.
That's
So,
amazing.
I know. It was a crazy story. We're planning on going back.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. We learn lessons from that.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You learn what you can handle and what you can't handle and what you can handle together. And it took teamwork for that trip, for him and I to stay on the same page and not kill each other. We can barely move an end table without yelling at each other. So this was like, this was epic.
Yeah, yeah.
It was so epic.
Your marriage is strong.
Oh my God, it is. If it's not solid after that,
concrete.
I got nothing. Yeah, I got nothing.
One of the things that I'm really excited about asking you is that you work with women in self-defense.
Yes.
So one of the things that Runner Story has gotten organically involved in is sharing, which we're honored but also saddened when we share stories about runners who have their stories are over.
Yeah.
And so one of them was Alyssa. We met her sister-in-law last November, and her sister-in-law was very gracious to share the story as hard as it was. She was out on a trail, a visual trail, and knew all the things to do, but unfortunately didn't get to come back home because somebody was selfish. We know about Lincoln Riley and numerous others. Tennessee has happened several times where female runners have not gotten to come back home. So what is advice that you would give to female runners that are listening about how to protect themselves, or what should they carry, or from your expertise, because that's what I consider you, what do you suggest?
I would suggest, first off, education. Education is so important when it comes to self-defense, but also just not being in denial. And it's not just strictly for women. It's just that part, keeping yourself in the dark. For them, it's a happy place, but it's not a realistic view.
Okay.
Because you really shouldn't keep yourself in a closet when it's full of skeletons, because you're not going to come out. And I think that we need to just accept the world the way that it is, or what it's become. I feel like the ages that we're living in are different from the way that we grew up, because the internet and social media, and it's fantastic, but it's also been the demise of a lot of things in our lives. And so much exposure on the internet, and we do it to ourselves too. I post so many things about my life. Somebody can easily become very infatuated with that and be waiting for me. But if that were to be the case, and that's obviously not something that you want, you need to educate yourself so you feel more confident in being able to take care of yourself. Because a bodyguard's not going to be walking around with you, and your husband's not always going to be there.
Yeah.
And even if he is someone that is out of their minds, doesn't matter if there's more than one person.
Oh, that's a good point.
And I was talking to someone at the shop, and so I work at Goldmine Pawn Shop, but we are a gun store disguised as a pawn shop that's ran by preppers. So that is the way that we view the shop, is because when Tom opened it 43 years ago, it was a pawn shop. They did a lot of gold and silver sales, and then the firearms took off. And then that really seems to be the primary business that we do. And then we sell a lot of self-defense items. You know, there's a lot of non-lethal options, And the non-lethal options are great in certain situations.
Okay.
Because there's a time to use self-defense as far as firearms, and then there's times that you can't, or that you shouldn't, or that you're going to end up in jail for because it wasn't lawful. So if I saw a video where a guy got pushed on the ground. Well, the guy that got pushed on the ground, he pulled his gun out and shot the other guy.
Yeah.
But the other guy was walking away. So just because someone has hurt you doesn't really give you the legal right to end someone's life. So there are times for both. There's times for pepper spray. There's times for straight blade knives. And there's times for lethal. So each situation will be a little bit more unique.
Sure.
But I have been in a few situations where I took off at the last minute. I'm going to go run today, and went a little bit unprepared. And every time I do, something very uncomfortable happens.
No.
So I was out on a trail, and of course, the thing that I leave behind is my little gun. So the little gun that I run with the most because of its size. And it will do just the job in a face-to-face situation, which if you're running, it's going to be a face-to-face situation for the most part.
Yeah.
It's a little gun that's made by Ruger. It's a caliber in .380, and I always have it in a holster because there's not an external safety. So always keep it in a holster, and then being very comfortable and familiar with the way that your gun operates. It's very important.
Okay.
That way you can clear jams if there is to be one, learning how to chamber it and unchamber it and things like that. So I didn't bring it on this particular time, and I went out there on this trail. It's in the middle of Bay Minette, so there's not a lot of people there typically. And there was a guy there, and he was dressed like Britney Spears.
Okay.
He was dressed like a schoolgirl. And I'm not saying that it was like the big bad whoop, but I'm like, hey, why you dressed like this? Out on a trail.
Yeah.
It was so odd. And so that made me feel a little uneasy.
Sure.
So I kept going because obviously I was already out there.
Yeah.
And I didn't even see him until I was already doing my thing. And then I go to leave, or I make a tea. So I was going back to the car to get something. And then I take off on the route again. And there was someone out there in the middle of the woods, and he was jumping up and down like he was jumping on something. So then I just went balls to the wall, went right to my car and left. And not that I wouldn't have done that anyways if I were to have had my firearm with me, because even though you're protected in your mind, are you really? Do you really know what could happen? Because I don't. And people say, well, in that situation, I would have done this, but you don't know that.
Yeah.
You can't say that.
Sure.
I just hope that I'll remember I have one because in the moment you're so terrified. If someone's coming at you, or if they're trying to hurt you, or if they knock you out, you come to, are you going to remember that you have a gun?
Yeah.
So you just don't know. So I do pistol classes for women, and I treat everybody just the same. If you've never even picked up one before, I would just pretend that you know nothing.
Yeah.
And we start from ground zero. That way, any habit you have, we're going to change it. We're going to change it. We're going to fix it. And I go over all the other non-lethal options too. Just the pepper spray to carry and other things to carry. I have a self-defense permanent marker. They make so many different things nowadays.
Sure. Okay.
So I go over all that too. And a lot of people do the crossbody bags. I still wear it like a fanny pack because I'm an old lady. I carried that throughout the whole time in Vegas because Vegas is a busy city, just like New Orleans, just like any big city. And you just don't know. You can never be over-prepared, but you can be under-prepared.
Sure.
And I already know because it's happened 100 times. And it's really more not only being prepared, but before it even happens or even gets to that point of being uncomfortable is situational awareness, is if something doesn't feel right, just take yourself out of it. Take yourself away from the situation. If you're around someone, let's say they're handling a gun and you don't maybe know them very well, and or you don't know how to check that firearm to make sure it's unloaded, or if they're pointing it in the wrong direction or aimed at you, just leave. And if you get an odd feeling, it's okay just to bail out.
Yeah.
I was supposed to go rappelling one time, and I don't know, I just had a feeling not to go.
Yeah.
And I didn't, and it didn't make any sense, but I just had a feeling that I shouldn't go rappelling on this day. So that could seem silly, or that could mean saving your life.
Sure.
Because
that's a good point.
we just don't know. You don't know which day is going to be your day.
Yeah.
So just do what you can on the day that you have, and just make the best choice that you feel.
That's good.
I really try to reiterate that on the younger folks that I have that I train. So, and now the young girls, even the teenage boys, I'll take them all.
Yeah.
I'll take the kids, I'll take the women. I've had a couple of guys as well. So, but it is important. If you're picked up and thrown into a trunk while you're running, pepper spray is not going to help. So you just don't know. Like, people are waiting for you, and women are the target. That's the unfortunate part, is they see women as a weaker gender. And in some cases that can be true, but you can be prepared for that. So even if you're the target, you still should be able to show them how well you can hit the target.
Oh, that's good.
So
That's good. I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah.
And I do hope that anybody that's listening reaches out to you.
for sure.
And Allie, I have this question and anything like that, because you are very much an open book. And again, one of the reasons why I call you my running hero is because you post this stuff, that things that I haven't thought about, and just like you said, I just started carrying pepper spray jelly because my husband was like, why are you, when you're running by yourself, not carrying anything?
Something. Yeah.
And so I watched videos. I was like, okay, this is what we're going to do. So that's what I got. And I will tell you, there's a little bit of, okay, at least if anything, I can give myself time
That's right.
to do something.
Yeah. It's just, I took a women's self-defense class at a jiu-jitsu gym last weekend, and their whole thing was give yourself time to get away. Even if you don't know jiu-jitsu moves, just do what you can to at least try to get away. Give yourself a chance to attract some attention, to try to get help if you can.
And that's what I would hope that people, but unfortunately we've seen that people don't always respond.
No.
And so that was one of the reasons why my husband was like, don't depend on other people.
That's right.
You need to do something for you.
That's right.
And it's one thing to be with a group of people out running. And especially, I think that's another reason why I like going to running events, because it's like I'm with other people.
Right.
And so, but at the same time, you can have a running event and things can happen. Yeah. I appreciate you sharing your expertise with that and being willing to be an advocate for that and a resource for that. So I really appreciate that.
Definitely can. And they don't even have to own anything before they come take the class. Okay. It can be come try before you buy. A few of the guns that I think would be fit for women. And a lot of women want to get it from women, as far as perspective and advice, because we can just relate to each other a little bit better.
Sure.
And one thing that I've noticed is taking classes from only men. I've never had the pleasure of taking a class from another woman. There's a huge intimidation factor because men and women, that's what they're from Mars, we're from Venus. It's just, you can't relate to them and they can't understand why you aren't doing what they're asking of you. So I have definitely noticed that. And it just doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah.
Women don't respond to that type of teaching. We learn differently.
Yeah.
I know I do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's definitely, I won't say a lot more gentle, but I'm definitely a little bit more understanding of the lack of knowledge whenever I'm teaching a class or when I'm coaching a class, because not everybody grew up with guns, and when they did, it was long guns.
Right. I was going to say rifles.
Yeah, absolutely. Rifles, pistols get left on the table because you really don't use pistols other than in self-defense or shooting matches. So you don't take them in the woods typically and go shoot a deer, but hard to carry a rifle and conceal it.
Be a little awkward too. Like, where do you after that die?
Right. Let me get my bolt action 270 out. Hold on a second. So pistols get left a little bit behind in the firearms industry as far as practice and what we grew up with. But it's just something you have to learn as an adult, that it's not just for you. It's for your kids. It's for the people you're with. Not always are you alone.
Yeah.
So it's not only about keeping you safe, it's keeping them safe. And especially in gun-free zones.
Sure. Yeah.
That's normally where things happen.
Yeah.
So you just have to make a decision about your own safety, because you are it.
Yeah.
That's it. So.
That's good. And again, I appreciate sharing your expertise. Allie, this has been so fun.
It was so fun.
Do you have any final words of wisdom?
Oh, God. Just never stop trying. I said that recently when I was making a post, and it really applies to the things that I do in life and in challenging and running and obstacle course races and signing up for things that scare the crap out of you. Just show up. Let everything else happen the way it will, but always show up, even if you don't want to, even if you're scared, even if you're so scared. You meet the best people, and it just makes life so much more fun.
Yeah.
So just never give up and give yourself a little credit and just keep showing up.
I love it. Well, Allie and the Alley, thank you.
Yes, Allie and the Alley.
Yes. So fun. I'm so thankful that our paths literally crossed.
Me too.
And now we've
They literally
did.
crossed.
They did. And we've literally been social media buddies.
I know. I've been talking
Yes.
with Sky too, your friend Sky.
Get out of time.
Yes,
Yes. Oh, that's awesome.
Yes, we've been messaging.
Oh, I love that. Oh, that is so fun. Well, thank you again for everything that you shared. It's been amazing.
It's been wonderful, and I hate that I have to go back to work.
Don't you just love Allie? Absolutely amazing. So much fun of a human being. And if you guys are not following her on social media, we will have that posted on the show notes. Make sure that you check her out, both her business Facebook page and Instagram, but also her personal one. She is so funny, such a hoot. I love her to pieces, and I'm so glad that I got to hear her story and all the very fun story. When I think about you, I just can't help but giggle because you're just such an incredible human being. And I just love you, my friend. And the three Allies in Allie will always be such a cool thing for me. And our story of how we met on top of a mountain is just incredible. So I love it. I love our friendship. I love how we got to spend time together. And I can't wait to see what else we get to do because you are absolutely amazing. And thank you for being the voice that you are, for protecting women on the road and in the trails or on a mountain. So thank you for that. And I wish you the very best, my friend. And thank you for sharing your story. Thank you again to UCP of Mobile and Fresh Junkie Racing for believing in the Run Your Story community, for believing that our stories, they're more than just hitting the pavement. They're about uplifting the community. And so both UCP of Mobile and Fresh Junkie Racing, that's what they do. They pour back into the community. So thank you guys so much for that. Guys, sign up for Fresh Junkie Races. You can also sign up for UCP Christmas Night and Lights. You can also sign up to volunteer. See how you can get involved. We would absolutely love that. I know they would love that. Guys, thank you to Gilliard Tech Services for editing. He had such a trip. He loved editing this podcast with Allie's story. He does such a great job with editing and all the things that he's been able to do in the running community. And it's because of this running podcast that he has taken on more running. And so I'm so excited to see his run journey and to see that so many of you inspired him to do Battleship 12K and to do more, to run hills for days and to do all the things. And so thank you to Gilliard Tech Services, our editor, our website designer. Guys, definitely check him out for any of your website needs, dreams, any of that. He can sit down with you and help you dream big for your website. And as always, to our Patreon family members, I cannot thank you guys enough for all that you do, for pouring into the community, for pouring into this podcast, for believing in us and for believing in this community. It means more than you can ever know. And so if you believe in this podcast or you want to help support this podcast, we would love to have you. You can join the Patreon family as well. There's a tab on the Run Your Story website. And don't forget to also check out the Run Your Story swag store. We love constantly adding stuff to that. So love you guys and can't wait to share the next story. All right, guys, until next time, go run your story because every story needs to be heard.